shared infield. Hello, everyone, and welcome back into Oxford, Alabama, Choccolocca Park, the site of today's OVC tournament matchup between the Jacksonville State Gamecocks and the Southeast Missouri Redhawks. Jacksonville State staved off elimination in Game 4 of the OVC tournament, which was their second game of the tournament. They defeated Austin Peay 8-4 in extra innings. In the top of the 8th inning, Alexis Jimerson blasted a grand slam that put Jacksonville State up 8-4, a no-doubter over the fence in right field that lifted the Gamecocks over the number 3 seeded Austin Peay Governors, setting up a 6 o'clock start time against Jacksonville State and number 1 seeded Southeast Missouri. SEMO won the first game 11-2 over Jacksonville State in 5 innings and moved on to take on Eastern Kentucky in Game 3. That was earlier today, a 10 a.m. start time. And Eastern Kentucky upset the number 1 seeded Redhawks 5-2. EKU, the number 2 seed in the tournament, moves on to take on the winner of this game between Jacksonville State, the number 4 seed, and the regular season champion Southeast Missouri Redhawks. Jacksonville State coming off an 8-4 win over Austin Peay. Southeast Missouri looking to rebound from a 1-2 loss to Eastern Kentucky. This is, again, Game 5 of the tournament, Game 2 within the loser's bracket, and so the winner of this game would go on to take on Eastern Kentucky, and the winner of this game would have to beat Eastern Kentucky twice in order to win the 2021 OVC tournament title, whereas EKU is sitting pretty. They're back at the hotel room watching this game, waiting to see who their opponent will be in the championship round. EKU will only have to win 1 game to win the tournament and the automatic bid to the NCAA playoffs. The lineup cards are in. A quick turnaround for Jacksonville State as their game against Austin Peay ended less than an hour ago, and we have the lineup cards in. First, we'll give you the lineup for Jacksonville State, the number 4 seed, and the designated visiting team in this matchup. Keely Bobbitt, the center fielder, is set to lead it off. Shelby Newsom, the freshman right fielder, is due up second. Jada Terry will play left field and bat in the 3 spot. Alexis Jimerson, the hero of game number 2. She picked up the win in the circle and also delivered the game-winning grand slam in the top of the 8th inning. She will play the designated player spot and bat 4th. Carson Mosley, the third baseman, will bat in the 5 hole. Megan Fortner will play first base and bat 6th. Sydney Wagnon, the second baseman, is due up 7th. Cheney Phillips will play shortstop and bat 8th. And rounding out the order is the freshman catcher Caroline Lively, batting in the 9 hole. The starting pitcher for Jacksonville State today is Nicole Rodriguez, and we'll tell you more about her in the bottom of the inning. For the Redhawks, Southeast Missouri will bat Allison Tucker, the shortstop, first. Kinsey Wrigley, the second baseman, will bat second. Center fielder Rachel Anderson is due up third. Katie Dreiling, the designated player, will bat in the cleanup spot. Kaylee Anderson, the freshman, the junior right fielder, will bat 5th, a little dyslexic on that one. Ashley Ellis, the first baseman, will bat in the 6th hole. Carson Davis, the catcher, will bat 7th. Senior third baseman Austin Pauley is due up 8th, and Jillian Anderson, the freshman left fielder, is due up 9th. And the starting pitcher for the Redhawks is the OVC Pitcher of the Year, Rachel Rook, as she pitched against Jacksonville State yesterday, did not pitch against Eastern Kentucky earlier today, and so this will be her second start of the tournament. As we are just about ready to go here in Oxford, Jacksonville State and Southeast Missouri both fighting to stay alive in this OVC tournament and hoping to take on Eastern Kentucky tomorrow in the first game of the championship round. That's set for noon tomorrow, a noon first pitch in Game 6. If EKU wins it, they will be tournament champions. Meanwhile, either Jacksonville State or Southeast Missouri, the winner of this game, will take on EKU, and they would have to win 2 games against the Colonels in order to win the title, as EKU is undefeated in the tournament thus far. The Gamecocks this season, 24-24 with a 21-13 OVC mark prior to the end of the regular season. 13-10 at home, 10-10 on the road. And in neutral site games, Jacksonville State's extra inning win over Austin Peay was their first win at a neutral site. They are 1-4 on neutral fields. Jacksonville State on a one-game winning streak. Their last 10 games, they are 6-4, 7-7 in one-run games. In extra innings, they are now 6-3 following that win over Austin Peay. 2-0 at home and 4-3 away from home. Jacksonville State, 7-time OVC tournament champions. Meanwhile, the Redhawks, 29-16 on the year, 23-6 in conference play, 13-4 at home. On the road, they're 13-10, and at neutral sites, they are 3-2. They're on a one-game losing streak. 8-2 in their last 10 games. They're 4-4 in one-run games this year. They've only played one extra inning game, and they are 0-1 in that one, and they played it on the road. Southeast Missouri, the regular season champions, are 6-time OVC tournament champions. And I actually misspoke. It's going to be the opposite of what I said. Jacksonville State will be the designated home team in this one. Southeast Missouri will be the away team. And so the Redhawks will bat first this time around. Rather than going by seed, they're going by who has played the most times as the home team and the team that has played the most as the away team. And so Jacksonville State, who has been the away team twice this year, in this tournament, they will instead be the home team this time around. The Redhawks will be the visiting team. The Redhawks will send Allison Tucker to the plate first. Kinsey Wrigley is due up second. And then Rachel Anderson, the senior center fielder, is due up third. As we are set to go, as Nicole Rodriguez will take the mound for Jacksonville State. Nicole Rodriguez this year 8-8 with a 2.33 ERA, 24 appearances with 18 games started. She's tossed 10 complete games, throwing 105 innings. She's allowed 83 hits, 49 runs, only 35 of them are earned. She's walked 41 and struck out a whopping 127, holding opponents to a .216 batting average. She's hit 18 batters and tossed only 6 wild pitches all season. And so here comes Allison Tucker to lead it off for Southeast Missouri against the Jacksonville State right-hander. Righty versus righty matchup to begin this elimination game between Jacksonville State and Southeast Missouri. And the first pitch will miss high for a ball from Rodriguez, and the count is 1-0 to Allison Tucker, who so far this season batting .297. Tucker to lead it off, followed by Kinsey Wrigley, who awaits on deck. A strike dealt by Rodriguez, and the count even up now at 1-1. And Rodriguez making her second start of the day. She started earlier today against Austin Peay, and I'm going to transpose those two teams all day today, as all three teams that I've watched today play, all of them are wearing red, black, and white. As Tucker swings over top of that one, and the count goes to 1-2. Against Austin Peay earlier today, Nicole Rodriguez, no decision. Through 3 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, only 2 of them were earned. She walked 1 and struck out 3 governors in the no decision, as Alexis Jimerson came on in relief in the 4th inning and was credited with the win, as that one misses high and away. Jimerson fantastic in the circle for Jacksonville State against APSU. 4 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run, only 1 earned. With a walk and 3 strikeouts, she picked up the win, and that was obviously because of her grand slam in the top of the 8th inning that put Jacksonville State up 8-4, and then Jimerson closed the door in the bottom of the 8th inning. Rather than close it, she slammed it. Count runs full here, 3-2 against Allison Tucker, the sophomore shortstop. Rodriguez looks over to the dugout for the sign, and she will come to the plate. Down the heart of the plate for strike 3. Tucker thought she had ball 4. Instead, she is retired on strikes, and she's the first out of the game, and a strikeout victim for Nicole Rodriguez. So a good start to the game for Jacksonville State, as they have yet to really figure out Southeast Missouri this year. Last series of the season was against Southeast Missouri. SEMO took game 1 10-5, the second 3-2, before Jacksonville State won 4-3 on getaway day the third game of the series. So during the regular season, took 1 of 3 from Southeast Missouri, and then a horrible game yesterday in the very first game of the tournament for either team. Jacksonville State walloped 11-2 in 5 innings, the first time Jacksonville State was ever run ruled in a tournament game in the OVC. As Rodriguez will start Wrigley out with 2 straight balls, and the SEMO second baseman is ahead in the count, 2 balls to no strikes. No one on base with 1 out on the board. Here in the top of the first inning, Jacksonville State, the home team for the first time in this tournament. The 2-0 is fouled off on a high, looked like a rise ball that just barely got out of the zone, and Wrigley was able to get a piece of it and foul it straight back. Two and 1 the count. Rodriguez will spin it, and that one misses high and inside. That one looked like a slider that broke into the SEMO left-handed batter and missed off the plate. The 3-1, swing and miss there for strike 2, and the count runs full 3-2 against Kinsey Wrigley, who is batting a hefty .360 this year. 36 hits in 100 at-bats. 13 runs batted in. She's also clocked a couple of home runs and has 8 doubles. The 3-2 lifted in the air, foul, and that one will get out of play as we are just underway. 73 degrees and sunny still here in Oxford as the shadows begin to get a little bit longer. Nicole Rodriguez's shadow there in the circle stretches all the way to nearly halfway to third base as the wind blows out to left field. It has been a perfect day for softball. The payoff pitch lifted in the air, deep to center field. Tracking it down, though, is the center fielder Bobbitt, and she'll make the catch. And a long, loud out for Kinsey Wrigley. She is retired on a fly out to center field. There's 2 away, and a good job there, Bobbitt, to stay with that one. She got a little twisted up there for a second as she started to kind of drift over toward right of center and then came back toward the left side and made the catch. And there's 2 down, and here comes Rachel Anderson, one of the 3 Andersons that play in the outfield for Southeast Missouri. Rachel Anderson, the center fielder, as she takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. And the count is 0-1 against the power hitter. 5 home runs this year, 2 triples, 7 doubles. She's got 46 hits through 129 trips to the plate and has driven in just shy of 30. She's got 29 RBIs. Hits from the left side and faces an 0-1 count. Hard line drive past the first baseman, Megan Fortner, and out into right field. She will think twice about going to second base and hold up at first as Newsom gets it back into the infield very quickly, cuts it off before it makes it to the corner, and Jacksonville State will hold her to a 1-out single. So with 1 on and 2 out, here comes Katie Dreiling, the freshman designated player. Dreiling, named to the OVC all-freshman team, will bat from the left side and foul off the first offering. Katie Dreiling and then the 9-spot hitter, left fielder Jillian Anderson, both on the all-freshman team. Meanwhile, Rachel Rook, the starting pitcher for Southeast Missouri, named to the All-OVC first team and is the OVC Pitcher of the Year, the 0-1. A called strike on the outside part of the plate, and the count goes to 0-2. For Jacksonville State, Jada Terry, an All-OVC first team selection. And in the circle for Jacksonville State, Nicole Rodriguez, All-OVC second team. The 0-2. Fouled off, and that one behind the plate and out of play. A young fan will return that to the dugout. And the count is 0-2 against Dreiling. Rodriguez to the plate, and that one bounced in front of the dish. Blocked up by Caroline Lively, and they will hold Anderson on at first base. Rachel Anderson, the center fielder. The 5-spot hitter, Kaylee Anderson, is the right fielder, and then Jillian Anderson, the left fielder, is due up ninth. The trio of Andersons starting in the outfield for the Redhawks. The 1-2. Swing and miss for strike 3. A throw down to first to ensure the out. And 2 strikeouts in the top of the first inning for Nicole Rodriguez. Helped keep the Redhawks off the board, and we're headed to the bottom of the first. The Gamecocks coming to the plate for the first time in this one. No score between the Redhawks and the Gamecocks. OVC Pitcher of the Year, Rachel Rooks, will head out to the rubber to deal against Jacksonville State. She will face Keely Bobbitt, Shelby Newsom, and Jada Terry. The first 3 batters due up this inning for Jacksonville State. The remainder of the Jacksonville State order: Alexis Jimerson due up fourth rather. Carson Mosley is the 5-spot hitter. Megan Fortner bats 6th and plays first base. Sydney Wagner, the second base, due up 7th. Cheney Phillips, the shortstop, will step to the plate 8th. And then rounding out the order is the catcher, Caroline Lively. Anderson, and Anderson in the outfield for Southeast Missouri. Ellis at first, Wrigley at second, Tucker at short, Austin Pauley is the third baseman, and then Carson Davis, the backstop for the Redhawks. Rachel Rooks this season, we mentioned the OVC Pitcher of the Year, 2.23 ERA with a 19-8 record, 33 appearances under her belt, 26 starts, 13 complete games. She's thrown in 151 innings, allowing just 105 hits, 54 runs, only 48 earned, as she starts off Keely Bobbitt with a fastball high that gets away from the catcher Davis and goes to the backstop. 32 walks, 182 strikeouts for Rooks. She's held batters below the Mendoza line at 191. She's only thrown 8 wild pitches and has hit 12 batters with a pitch as she delivers a strike there. And the count even up now at 1-1. Wide and deal from Bobbitt. The break even will miss high for a ball. Kevin Wallace, the home plate umpire this time around. Chris Lyles is at first, and Shane Jackson is the third base umpire. 2 balls and a strike from Rooks, the right-hander, to Bobbitt, the left-hander. And a swing and miss there, and the count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bobbitt hitting .242 this year. And she is facing Rooks for the second time in this tournament. She's 1 for 2 against her so far. She grounded out yesterday and then hit a double in the 5th inning, what turned out to be the final inning of the matchup between the Gamecocks and the Redhawks. Rook's last start was yesterday. She didn't play today against Eastern Kentucky in that loss to the Colonels. She threw 5 innings against the Gamecocks and picked up the win in the 11-2 victory. 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts for her yesterday as Bobbitt fouls this one off yet again, and a fantastic at-bat for the Jacksonville State leadoff hitter. It's exactly what you want from your leadoff hitter, to go up there and see as many pitches as she can and kind of let the rest of the dugout see what kind of stuff Rooks is working with today. 2-2, here's the break even from Rook, and a ground ball right back to the pitcher. Picks it up off of one hop and goes to Ellis at first, and there's one away.
The right fielder, number 3, Shelby
Regardless,
Newsom.
a great at-bat for Bobbitt. She made Rook throw a ton of pitches. And she's the first out of the inning, and now here comes Shelby Newsom. Bobbitt saw 8 pitches that at bat. And now here comes the freshman right fielder, Shelby Newsom, who in her first at bat, she hit a solo home run to left field, led off the scoring for Jacksonville State against Austin P earlier today with that solo home run, put the Gamecocks up 1-0. She takes a pitch off the plate outside for a ball, and the count is 2-0. Rook licks in for the sign and hasn't. Will come to the plate. Here's the 2-0, and it's fouled off of the bat of Newsom back. That one on top of the press box, as Newsom hits from the right side against the right-handed pitching Brook. Here's the 2-1. Down the heart of the plate for strike 2. That one's in there, and the count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good amount of Southeast Missouri fans on hand for this matchup. Here's the 2-2. Lifted in the air, left field. That one's going to get down in front of the left fielder, Anderson, and that's a leadoff hit, or rather the first hit of the game for Jacksonville State.
The left fielder, number 7, Jada Terry.
So a one-out base hit for Shelby Newsom. And here comes the left fielder, Jada Terry. Shelby Newsom hoping that hit gets the offense going. And here comes Terry, who has a big bat. And she takes a big first cut and misses, and the count is 0-1. Jada Terry, senior left fielder, first team All-OVC, and leads the Gamecocks in home runs with 10. Also leads Jacksonville State in hits with 53 and RBIs with 41. As that one misses high, and the count even at a ball and a strike apiece. Runner at first base, Newsom. Defense plays straight up. And that one misses off the plate for a ball. The only infielder really playing in just a tad is the third baseman, Pauly. And she's still about 3 steps behind the bag. First base shifts over to the left just a little bit. And that one misses high for a ball, and the count is 3-1 in Terry's favor. Outfielders play deep. Right field shades over toward left. She's standing basically in right center field. Everyone just a few steps off of the warning track as they know Terry can swing it. Terry fouls one back to the screen, and the count's full now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wind blowing slightly out to left field. Probably the calmest that it's been all day. Still 73 degrees and sunny here in Oxford as Terry pops one up behind home plate. That one's going to stay in play, and Davis will track it down and catch it back to the infield. Had to drift back toward home plate, but makes the catch. And that's a foul out for Jada Terry. So with 1 on and 2 outs, here comes Alexis Jimerson, the Jacksonville State designated player who was the star of the game that ended just about an hour ago. 2 outs, first pitch swinging, sends one towards second base. And a ground out there, 4-3, as Newsom did a good job of kind of getting in front of that one, but second baseman Wrigley not fooled, and she will pick it up and go on to first for the 4-3 put out. That will do it for the Gamecocks in the bottom of the first inning. They leave one stranded and get 1 hit with no runs. We head to the top of the second inning. No score between the Gamecocks and Kaylee Anderson, the right fielder, will lead it off for Southeast Missouri. Ashley Ellis is due up second. She's the power-hitting first baseman. And then Carson Davis, the freshman catcher, is due up third this frame. And Jacksonville State, a tough assignment here for Nicole Rodriguez, as Anderson has clocked 13 home runs. And then Ashley Ellis, coming into the tournament, had hit 17. Jacksonville State, though, a good job of keeping Ellis off balance, have tried to throw her inside and keep her from getting her arms extended. And JSU's been very successful against the SEMO all-time leader in home runs. Kaylee Anderson, on the other hand, has hurt Jacksonville State a few times. Anderson yesterday, a grand slam in the first inning. Walked and scored in the second, and then she hit a 2-run home run in the third. And so Jacksonville State will have to tiptoe with Kaylee Anderson coming to the plate. And we're set to go. Rodriguez winds and deals, and pitch that misses low there for a ball. Anderson earlier today was 1 for 2 with a run scored and a walk as she pulls one toward the third base side, but is way early on it and pulls it foul. SEMO managed just 3 hits earlier today against EKU. Kaylee Anderson had 1 of them. Katie Dreiling had the second. And then Allison Tucker at shortstop had the other. Only 2 RBIs all day, or rather 1 RBI, and that was off the bat of Dreiling. As SEMO lost 2-1 to EKU, and this one's popped up on the infield. Foul territory, first base side. Fortner calling off Caroline Lively and catches it right in front of Lively, and I think it scared Fortner when she looked down and there stood Lively right in her grill. But Jacksonville State makes the catch and a foul out to the first base side. 1 away, and here comes Ashley Ellis, the power hitter. Ellis hitless in the game earlier today against Austin P, or rather Eastern Kentucky, and she takes a strike there, and the count is 0-1. Ellis on the season, 17 home runs, hitting .298, was hitting .300. Going into the final series of the season, as a great play out in center field is made by Bobbitt. That ball looked like it was going to find the grass in the outfield. and she was playing right at the 220 mark on the fence in dead center field, right on the warning track.
The catcher, number
And she had to go a
7,
long
Carson
way to get to
Davis.
that one. Lays out and makes the catch, and that's the second fantastic play we've seen her make this weekend, and both of them have been against Southeast Missouri to save extra bases. So Ellis retired again, flies out to left field, and she is in a slump and a half. 2 outs, and here comes Carson Davis, the freshman catcher, and she takes a first pitch ball on the inside part that just missed, and Jacksonville State fans were wanting a strike called there. A ball and no strikes to start off the at-bat for Carson Davis, who is batting .288 this year. She fouls that one off behind home plate and off of the rebound. Caroline Lively catches it on the fly. 19 hits this year through just 66 at-bats for Davis. 12 runs batted in. She's clobbered 2 home runs, has 3 doubles and 1 triple. Wind picking up to left field. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. And Caroline Lively fired up, and Davis thought that was strike 3. She turned and went running back to the dugout, didn't know what the count was. So even she thought that first pitch was a strike. So the count 1-2. Davis stands back in on the right side. Rodriguez will fire. Just missed. Just below the knees, middle of the plate. And the count even up now at 2-2. Two outs, no one on. Scoreless in the top of the second. Here's the break even, and it's fouled off of the foot. I know I said it 100 times in the first broadcast today, but both of these teams are looking to stay alive in the OVC tournament. Loser of this game will go home. The winner will go on to the championship round to take on EKU. This ball is sent down the line in right foul, and that went into the Jacksonville State bullpen where no one is currently stretching or throwing. Rodriguez making her second start of the day. She started earlier today against Austin Peay and threw 3 2/3 innings and was pulled in the 4th for Alexis Jemerson. And Jacksonville State saves the arm of Rodriguez for their second game of the day. They came in hoping for a doubleheader and got it. But now Jacksonville State is looking to eliminate Southeast Missouri as they did Austin Peay just about an hour ago. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count with 2 outs. Pitch on its way. Swing and miss for strike 3. Third strikeout of the day for Nicole Rodriguez. And a great start for Jacksonville State through 2 innings. We head to the bottom of the second. Gamecocks coming to the plate for the second time today. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Redhawks in the second. No score between the 2 rivals.
So caught up now in pretending what we're seeking is the truth. I'm just looking for a happy ending. All I'm looking for is you. Came upon me a long way. You're the reason I'm still here. I'm the one you were sent to say. Came upon me way long way. looking for. Came upon me a long way.
Leading off the third baseman, number 12, Carson Mosley.
Here comes Carson Mosley to lead it off for Jacksonville State in the bottom of the second inning. No score between the Gamecocks and the Redhawks here in this elimination game. Second loser's bracket game of the day and the second of the tournament as Mosley is plunked on the wrist, and she will trot down to first base, hit by a pitch to lead it off. Well, I guess it doesn't matter how you get on base as long as you do, and Mosley does that here. And Carson Mosley is a dangerous one to have on the base paths for Southeast Missouri. 10 stolen bases on the season and 35 in her career, the 7th most in school history, and just one behind Rachel Fleming, who played for the Gamecocks from 07 to 08. She is in 6th place in Jacksonville State's all-time stolen base history as Megan Fortner stands in and takes a first pitch strike. Mosley on base to lead off the second. And for Mosley, it's the first time today that she's been on base. She was hitless in game 1 against Austin Peay, but was able to pick up a sacrifice fly back in the 7th, or rather a sacrifice bunt in the 7th inning of that game, and so contributed with that as Fortner tries to bunt her over this time, but Fortner skies it, and the catcher Davis comes out from behind the plate to make the catch, and there's one away, a failed sac bunt attempt.
The second baseman, number 24, Sydney Wagner.
Carson Mosley has to hang up at first base. So a pop out to the catcher there in fair territory. Carson Mosley on at first base with her 10 stolen bases this year, and now here comes Sydney Wagner, who can run. As Wagner takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. Wagner against Rook yesterday was 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout, and then against Austin Peay today, she was 1 for 3 with a single and a stolen base. She also walked against the Governors. As she goes around on that one, on a pitch high and out of the zone, a rise ball that fooled her. And she tried to hold up at the last second, but it was too late, and the count is 0-2 in favor of Rachel Rook, the OVC Pitcher of the Year. Here's the 0-2 now, and a called strike 3 on the outer half of the plate, and it's definitely in there for a strike. That's out number 2.
The shortstop, number 10, Cheney Phillips.
So 2 outs, and here comes Cheney Phillips. Runner at first base and Carson Mosley. No score between the Gamecocks and the Redhawks here in the bottom of the second inning with 2 outs. And Phillips swings at the first pitch she sees. Oh, 1 the count to the junior shortstop. Pitch from Rooks fouled straight back this time, and the count goes to 0-2 against the shortstop, who's batting $158. Despite struggling at the plate, she picked up a big double back in the 4th inning against Austin Peay earlier today, a 2-run double that helped Jacksonville State win that game in extra innings, 8-4. Her 2-run double in the 4th inning was the only 2 runs that, or rather was 2 of 3 runs that Jacksonville State scored in that frame. And that made it a 4-2 game before Austin Peay tied it in the 5th. And it remained tied until the top of the 8th inning before Alexis Jefferson hit that grand slam. The ball is sent up in the air here, but that one reaches the bleachers over on the first base side. So Phillips stays alive, 1-2 the count. In search of her 13th hit of the season. And she's got a runner in first base in Carson Mosley. The 1-2 on its way. Swing and miss for strike 3 on a ball that stays high in the zone. And that'll do it for Jacksonville State in that inning. They get a runner on, hit by a pitch, but she's stranded at first base. And so that'll do it for the second inning. We're headed to the third. No score between the Gamecocks and the Redhawks. We are headed to the third inning in Oxford, and a far cry from what we saw yesterday. We've been playing for just over 35 minutes, and we're headed to the third. And yesterday, about an hour in, we were only in the second inning between the Gamecocks and the Redhawks as Southeast Missouri put up 8 runs in the bottom of the first inning, another in the bottom of the second, and 2 more in the bottom of the third. 11 runs in the first 3 innings for Southeast Missouri, and for the 4th and 5th innings, no runs as they held Jacksonville State to just 2 runs in the the 2nd and 5th innings, 1 run each in those. But here we are scoreless as we head to the third, and Nicole Rodriguez jumps out ahead of Austin Pauley, 0-2, gets her to swing at a couple of pitches. The 8-spot hitter will lead it off, followed by Jillian Anderson, the All-OVC freshman team member. And then Allison Tucker, the leadoff hitter, is due up third this frame as she fouls one off to stay alive. Count stays 0-2. And Rodriguez looks over to the first base dugout for the sign from volunteer assistant coach Maddie Moss as she goes with a rise ball, and Pauley not taking on that one, not biting on that one, I should say. Takes that one for a ball, and the count is 1-2. Sally Beth Birch, Jacksonville State pitching coach. Maddie Moss volunteers and helps out with the pitching staff as well. Former Tennessee Lady Volunteer. Sally Beth Birch, former infielder with Jacksonville State. Jenna McGinnis, the Jacksonville State head coach. Julie Boland, the assistant that works with the infielders and the hitters. Jacksonville State, a good job of keeping it in the family as that one's fouled away, and the count remains 2-2. Gamecock coaching staff of Jana McGinnis, who graduated from Jacksonville State in 1991, Julie Boland, a 96 graduate, and Sally Beth Birch, who graduated in 2012. There's only 2 staffs in Division I that all of their full-time coaches are coaching for their alma mater. The other one is UCLA. And Moss, a fantastic addition to the coaching staff as the volunteer assistant, former SEC pitcher. So Rodriguez looks to the armband, and here's the 2-2. Lifted foul and out of play. The at-bat continues, and a long one for Austin Pauley, having the sort of a bat that Keely Bobbitt did to lead off for Jacksonville State. Wind blowing out to left field as the shadows begin to get even longer. So line drive is sent toward left field, and after a long at bat, it produces a base hit to left. Austin Pauley leads off the third inning with a single, and now Jillian Anderson due up for Southeast Missouri. Anderson, the freshman left fielder, one of two all-freshman team members on the SEMO lineup. The other, Katie Dreiling, the freshman designated player who hits in the 4 spot. No outs, a runner at first base. Anderson steps to the plate for the first time today and bats from the left side, and Rodriguez misses off the plate outside. Here's the 1-0. Bunt shown, pulled back, ball outside. Lively up quickly, looking to first base to keep Pauley honest. Pauley on the season, 4 stolen bases, has been caught stealing 3 times. So her percentage on the base paths at 57.1. Here's the 2-0. Off the plate outside for a ball, and that's 3 straight balls to Jillian Anderson as they continue to stay outside against her. All 3 pitches off the plate outside. And now Carson Mosley over to talk with Nicole Rodriguez from third base. Mosley has to shade her eyes from the sun, which is sitting almost directly over the first base dugout. And a pitch misses on the outside part of the plate. And 4 straight balls issued to Jillian Anderson. We'll put her at first base. Austin Pauley moves to second. Base on balls for Jillian Anderson as we head back to the top of the order, and not a good start to the inning for Jacksonville State. Walks always come back to bite you, it seems like, and it's tough to do it there with no outs and a runner already at first base.
The shortstop, number 4, Allison
So 2
Tucker.
on for Allison Tucker, the sophomore shortstop, who was 0 for 1 today, struck out in her first plate appearance. That led off the first inning, led off the game. First offering, a bunt, right back to the pitcher Rodriguez. Not enough time to go to third, though. She has to spin and go to first. And a sac bunt will move both runners into scoring position. Pauley to third, Anderson to second, and Tucker out on the sack.
Wrigley.
1-3 the put out on the sacrifice, and now here comes Kinsey Wrigley, who flying out to deep center field in her last at bat. She puts it in the air. She can get a little help from the wind this time around, as it was fairly calm in her first at bat. Ballpark has played very small this weekend. Now there have been some shots, some absolute shots that no matter where you're playing, it would have been out, but there have been a few home runs that we've seen that have been aided by the wind out to left field. As Rodriguez misses outside again, and the count is 2-0. JSU fans feel as though she is being squeezed, and Sally Beth Birch may feel that way as well, as she's out of the dugout and now returns and sets back on the ball bucket. 2 balls, no strikes with 1 out. Runners at second and third, scoreless here in the top of the third inning, with Two-spot hitter Kenzie Wrigley batting, and the left-hander takes another pitch for a ball, and she's ahead in the count 3-0. And now, all of a sudden, Nicole Rodriguez can't find the strike zone. She struck out 3 through the first 2 innings, and now here has given up a single and then a 4-pitch walk, and she's in danger of doing that again here with a 3-0 count. In there for a strike this time as she remains on the outside corner, paints it there, and the count is 3-1. Looks over for the sign and hasn't. Will now come to the plate. 3-1 off the plate for ball 4. 5 pitches and a walk. 9 pitches to the last 2 batters, and 8 of them are balls. So the base is loaded now as Wrigley assumes her place at first. And now here comes Rachel Anderson, the senior center fielder. Anderson yesterday 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. Also stole a base, stands in, and she launches one to center field. It's a high fly ball, though. It's going to be caught by Bobbitt, and the throw in is going to be cut off between second and home by Fortner. Run will score easily. And Simo will draw first blood on a sacrifice fly. A long fly ball out to center field that Bobbitt had to take a few steps in to make the catch on. And tagging up and scoring easily from third base is Austin Pauly. Julian Anderson has to hang up at second, and Kenzie Wrigley stays at first base. There's 2 outs now with Katie Dreiling due up. And the first offering to her misses high. Dreiling in this one is 0 for 1. She struck out back in the first inning to end the frame. So Rodriguez will come to the plate. And a changeup swung on and missed. And the count even up at 1-1 now. A ball and a strike, 2 outs, runners at first and second. Simo has plated 1 so far. Wind and deal. And that one must have missed high. Southeast Missouri leading 1-0. 1 run here in the top of the 3rd inning on a sacrifice fly out to center field off the bat of Rachel Anderson that plated Austin Pauly from third. Here's the 2-1. Way off the plate outside for a ball. That's ball 3. Runners ready at first and second. Here's the 3-1. Called strike on the outside part of the plate. The count runs full now, 3-2. Runners will be on the move on contact, signals Simo head coach Mark Redburn. The payoff pitch to Dreiling on its way. Swing and miss for strike 3. Her first strikeout since the 2nd inning, her 4th of the game, and Nicole Rodriguez gets out of the inning with no further harm done. Simo scores 1 to take a 1-0 lead. Jacksonville State coming to the plate in the bottom of the 3rd inning, an elimination game between the Gamecocks and the Red Hawks.
Yes, sometimes late at night on your radio, even though you're a million miles away, when you have on in a USA, you relive those glory days so long ago. When you think about me, do you think about 17? Do you think about my OG? Think about the stars in the sky. Funny how a melody sounds like a memory, like a soundtrack.
Leading off the catcher, number 25, Carolyn Lively.
Caroline Lively coming to the plate to lead off the bottom of the third inning for Jacksonville State. She's the 9th spot here, and then we'll head back to the top of the order with Keely Bobbitt and Shelby Newsom do up second and third. As she takes a first pitch ball from Rachel Rook, who begins her third inning on the bump. Rook only 1 hit so far through 2 innings today, accompanied by 2 strikeouts as she gets Lively to swing through 1 there, and the count even at 1-1. First at bat of this game for Caroline Lively. As the freshman catcher takes a questionable strike there, and the count is 1-2. And Jana McGinnis coming down from the third base coach's box, asking where that one was, why that was a strike, because Jacksonville State hasn't gotten jack out of that. Out of that location, wow. Here's the 1-2. Lively swings through that one and misses. And that's out number 1. Geez, I mean, when you get a strike call like that,
Number 11, Keely Bobbitt.
you almost got to swing at the next one because you don't know whether it's going to be a ball or a strike or not. Third base umpire Kevin Wallace stares down McGinnis between the pitch, and Lively making her way back to the first base dugout. Now Keely Bobbitt stands in, and the slap hitter will send one off toward the left field side foul and out of play. Bobbitt the batter, Shelby Newsom waits on deck. Bobbitt 0 for 1 today, grounded out back to the pitcher back in the first inning. As Rachel Rook will come to the plate and a called strike on the outside corner. Bobbitt behind in the count 0-2 now. Here's the 0-2 offering. It misses high for a ball. A ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. No runners on base for Jacksonville State. Wind and deal, this one popped up on the infield. Shortstop and second baseman both yelling they've got it. Tucker, the shortstop, will prevail over Wrigley, the second baseman, and make the catch, and there's 2 down. So 2 outs, and here comes Shelby Newsom, the freshman right fielder, who is 1 for 1 in this one with a single. Also had a solo home run earlier today. Led off the scoring for Jacksonville State against Austin Peay. Big cut and miss there. And the count is 0-1 in favor of the OVC Pitcher of the Year. .42 pitches thus far for Rook through what would be 3 innings if she gets the out here. Here's the 0-1. And that one misses high for a ball. That one about chin high, middle of the plate. A ball and a strike with 2 outs, no one aboard. SEMO leading this one 1-0 in the bottom of the third. That one just over the shoe tops. Misses for a ball, and the count 2-1 to Newsom now. If she finds a way aboard, Jada Terry is on deck for Jacksonville State, the 3-spot hitter. Here's the 2-1. Swing and miss for strike 2. That one on the inside part of the plate that, as she made contact, it might have jammed her a bit. Instead, she swings under that pitch, and the count even now at 2-2. Here's the break even. That one misses high. Newsom thought about it. Held up in plenty of time, though, and the count is worked full 3-2. From Rooks, the payoff pitch. Misses inside for ball 4. Newsom nearly hit by that one.
The left fielder, number
And
7,
Jacksonville
Jada
State has a
Terry.
runner at first base with 2 outs. Now here comes Jada Terry. Hit well in the first game of the day today against Austin Peay. Terry with a pair of hits. Had an RBI back in that 4th inning against Austin Peay. First pitch on the way to her. She lifts it high in the air to right center field, but that one's going to be an easy play for Anderson in right, and that will do it for the Gamecocks. They leave one stranded, and we head to the 4th inning. Jacksonville State trailing Southeast Missouri 1-0 in this elimination game. We head to the 4th inning at Choccolocco Park in Oxford, Alabama, the site of the 2021 OVC Softball Championships. Elimination game between Jacksonville State and Southeast Missouri. As far as the overall tournament goes, this is game 5 as a ball is hit down the left field line off the bat of Kaylee Anderson. That's a leadoff hit for Southeast Missouri. Swings at the first offering from Nicole Rodriguez and places it perfectly down the left field line. So a runner at first base and no outs for the power hitting Ashley Ellis, who Jacksonville State has been able to hold hitless in their 4 games so far, and she's hitless today. 0 for 1, fly out to center field her last at bat. A shot to shallow center field that Keely Bobbitt made a fantastic play on. Had to run a mile to get to it and then made the diving play, outstretched. Made the catch as she fell to the ground. First pitch fouled off and the count 0-1. This is game number 5 of the tournament overall. Jacksonville State taking on Southeast Missouri in an elimination game. The second elimination game of the day for JSU. The first one, they won 8-4 over Austin Peay. A grand slam in the top of the 8th inning for Alexis Jemerson lifted the Gamecocks over the Govs and sent the Govs back to Clarksville. Austin Peay, the first team eliminated. There's only 4 teams in the tournament this year, and Jacksonville State has a chance to send Southeast Missouri home, the number 1 seed and the regular season champions. Count even 1-1. Rodriguez to the plate and misses high for a ball. That one about chin high when it crossed the plate on the outside part. Eastern Kentucky is sitting back at their hotel room right now, probably watching this game on ESPN Plus, trying to wait and see who their opponent will be tomorrow in the first game of the OVC championship round. Swing and miss there on a changeup, a breaking ball on the inside part, and the count even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes against Ellis. Southeast Missouri fell into the losers bracket with a loss to Eastern Kentucky earlier today. That was a 10 o'clock game between SEMO and EKU as the 2-2's on its way and it misses high for a ball. Eastern Kentucky won that game 5-2 over Southeast Missouri. EKU, the 2 seed. Assistant coach up there with the Colonels is a former Jacksonville State Gamecock, Haley Sims. So SEMO had to wait and see who the winner of Game 4 was between Jacksonville State and Austin Peay. Called strike 3 on Ellis. She thought she had ball 4. Another strikeout for Nicole Rodriguez. That's number 5 on the day for her. So a runner at first base with 1 out now.
Number 7, Carson Davis.
And the catcher, Carson Davis, will step to the plate and bat from the right side. Finally, a strike call that goes Jacksonville State's way that was borderline. The Gamecocks won their matchup against Austin Peay 8-4 in extra innings. Southeast Missouri fell 2-1 to Eastern Kentucky earlier today in that 10 o'clock game. This pitch has popped up on the infield. The catcher, rather the shortstop, Cheney Phillips makes the catch, and there's 2 down. Quick out of Carson Davis. So 2 down, and here comes Austin Pauley, the senior third baseman, who is 1 for 1 already today with a run scored. She scored on the sacrifice flyout by Rachel Anderson back in the 3rd inning that put Southeast Missouri on the board and gave them their 1-0 lead. Runner at first base is Kaylee Anderson, who led off the inning with a single down the left field line, and that offering is fouled away toward the first base dugout. Oh, 0-1 the count. Rodriguez to the plate, and that one misses high for a ball. Ball and a strike, the break even. Changeup swung on and missed for strike 2, and a good pitch there from Nicole Rodriguez keeping the ball down, and she keeps Pauley off balance. The SEMO third baseman way ahead of that one. And Rodriguez goes ahead in the count 1-2 with 2 outs and a runner at first. Wind and deal here. Off the plate for a ball, count even at 2-2. Mark Redburn, the head coach of the Redhawks, warning her that this might be an inside pitch. Let's see where it's at, 2-2. Inside, breaking ball, swung on and missed. Lively down to first base, and that'll do it for the Redhawks in the top of the 4th inning. No runs scored. Another strikeout for Rodriguez, her 6th of the day. And we head to the bottom of the 4th with the Gamecocks coming to the plate, trailing 1-0 to Southeast Missouri.
Leading off the designated player, number 22, Alexis Jimerson.
Alexis Jimerson set to lead it off for Jacksonville State here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Takes a first pitch ball high, and the count 1-0 to the JSU DP. Second pitch off the plate outside as well. She's ahead in the count, 2 balls to no strikes. No runs for Southeast Missouri in the top of the inning. JSU held them to a hit and left the runner on base at the end of the frame, Nicole Rodriguez, with only 1 run against her so far today. Southeast Missouri leading 1-0 over Jacksonville State. The 2-1 to Jimerson. Gets a piece of it and fouls it straight back, and it went in and out of the glove of the catcher Davis and back to the backstop. Jimerson 0 for 1 in this one. Grounded out to the second baseman back in the first inning and was the 3rd out of that frame. Here's the 2-2. A shot toward the gap in left center that will go all the way to the fence. Jimerson trying for 2. She'll slide, and she's in! Holy cow, what a play. She hung up in the dirt, and it threw her forward. She was able to avoid the tag and got her hand in, and Mark Redburn is not happy with that call, but geez, what a play. Jimerson, not a ton of speed, and she's used to sliding on the Jacksonville State infield, which is all turf, and so you get a long slide out of that, but here she kind of hangs up in the wet dirt, obviously watered in between games, and she hangs up, and a lot of the dirt, the mud spot, is on her knee, so she probably banged that knee pretty good, but it kind of sent her flying up towards second base, and she was able to get the hand in and avoid the tag from the relay throw to the shortstop. So a leadoff double for Alexis Jimerson, a little unconventional there, but it gets the job done, and Jacksonville State has the tying run in scoring position at second here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So 1 on, no out for Carson Mosley, who bats with an 0-1 count. Rook winds and deals. Mosley sends one to right field, a line drive out, though, to the right fielder Anderson, and a hard hit out. And there's one away. Put good wood on it, but right to the fielder. And now here comes Megan Fortner, the Jacksonville State first baseman, who is 0 for 1 today. A bunt attempt her last time around, and she popped it up to the catcher in fair territory. And that might be the highest I've ever seen a bunt popped up. It was almost even with the press box windows when it reached its apex. Now a pop-up on the infield towards second base on a full swing. And there's 2 down. She's popped up on the infield twice today now, and there's 2 outs. So Jacksonville State hoping not to spoil the leadoff double from Alexis Jimerson. She stands at second base in scoring position and represents the game's tying run here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And here comes Sydney Wagnon, who's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. First pitch on its way to Wagnon, and she takes high and away off the plate. 4-1. A pretty neat fact about Alexis Jimerson this season that Sports Information Director Josh Underwood told me in between games. She had 5 hits against Austin Peay this season. 4 hits in the regular season, 1 earlier today in the elimination game, and all 5 of them were home runs. She hit 4 in the 3-game series up in Clarksville, and then the home run that eliminated Austin Peay earlier today was a grand slam in the top of the 8th inning. Here's the 2-0. Sent toward left field, foul territory. Coming on to try to make the catch is the left fielder Anderson, but she has it go in and out of her glove on a diving attempt, and if she had made that play, it would have been a fantastic play out in left field, but instead it goes off the fingertips and falls to the ground, and Wagnon stays alive. So the umpire throws up the count, and it's 2-1. Pitch from Rook. A called strike, and the count even up now at 2-2. That one about letter high when it passed. And so Rook with a favorable count here. Here's the break even from the right-hander to the left-hander. Off the plate for a ball. Not a bad place to miss. Kind of low and outside on the corner. Doesn't get the call, though, and the count runs full now, 3-2. 3-2, 2 outs. Runner at second base is Jemerson. Here's the payoff pitch. And Wagner watches it ball 4. It gets away from the catcher, Davis. And that will allow Jemerson to move up 60 feet to third base.
The shortstop, number 10, Cheney Phillips.
So Jemerson, the game's tying run here in the bottom of the 4th inning, is just 60 feet from home plate at third base following the passed ball. Runners on the corners with Wagner on the walk at first. Now here comes Cheney Phillips, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout today. First pitch to Phillips. Swing and miss at a ball high and out of the zone. And she's behind in the count 0-1, and Jana McGinnis telling her to wait for one that's lower. That one started out high, and by the time it got to the plate, it was even higher when it crossed. Catcher Davis had to come up out of the crouch to make the catch, and same pitch again, swung on and missed. Throw down to second, gets away from the second baseman, and Jemerson will score from third. Didn't imagine that one working out for Jacksonville State as it did, but JSU ties the game 1-1. Jemerson advances to third on a pass ball, and now on a throwing error by the catcher Davis, it gets away from the second baseman Wrigley and rolls out towards shortstop. Wagner is safe at second base. She picks up a stolen base there. And then Jemerson is actually credited with stealing home. So a stolen base for Alexis Jemerson, a stolen base from Sydney Wagner, and we're all tied up 1-1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and Cheney Phillips batting with an 0-2 count. Wind and deal from Rook. Swing and miss for strike 3. Jacksonville State will leave a runner stranded, but they pick up one and tie this game here in the bottom of the 4th inning. We head to the 5th, all knotted at 1, just like almost exactly like the last game, all tied up as we head to the 5th inning. Elimination game between the Red Hawks and the Gamecocks. Jillian Anderson due up for Southeast Missouri to lead off the 5th inning. She'll be followed by the 1 and 2 spots in the Southeast Missouri order. Allison Tucker due up second, and then Kinsey Wrigley due up third this frame. All tied up 1-1. As that first pitch to Jillian Anderson will miss off the plate for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Southeast Missouri plated a run in the top of the third inning. A sacrifice fly from Rachel Anderson scored Austin Pauley. But Jacksonville State gets it back in the bottom of the fourth inning. Alexis Jemerson leads off the frame with a double, advances to third on a pass ball, and then steals home plate on a double steal with Sydney Wagner. 2-0 lifted in the air. Right center field, drifting over the center fielder Bobbitt will make the catch, and there's one down.
The shortstop, number 4, Allison Tucker.
We head to the top of the order now with Allison Tucker due up. She's 0 for 1 today. She struck out in the first inning and then laid down a successful sacrifice bunt in the third. She was out 1-3, and that's even though she's retired on the play, it doesn't go against her batting average. So 0 for 1 today is Tucker. The right-handed hitting shortstop takes a first pitch strike, and the count is 0-1. Jacksonville State and Southeast Missouri all tied up at 1 here in the top of the fifth inning. As she swings over top of that one, and Tucker behind in the count 0-2 now. It was the bottom of the fifth inning when Austin Peay tied the game up 4-4. And that game ended up going into extra innings. We played 8, which is ideally, I think, what Eastern Kentucky is hoping for, is whoever their opponent is in the championship round has to play a lot of extra innings. And Jacksonville State, if they advance, has already played 1 extra inning matchup. Pitch misses from Rodriguez, and the count is 1-2 with 1 out. No one on base here in the top of the fifth inning. All tied up 1-1. The 1-2. A changeup swung on and missed. Lively will have to throw down to first as it gets away from her, but she throws down and makes the out. Ensures the strikeout, goes down as an out. And there's two away here in the fifth inning.
Number 24, Kinsey Wrigley.
So 2 outs, and here comes Kinsey Wrigley, the freshman second baseman, who is 0 for 1 today with a fly out and a walk. She was stranded on at first at the end of the third inning, her last time around. First pitch swinging, lifts one to left field, foul territory. It's going to get down, though, as neither Jada Terry nor Carson Mosley was going to get to it. So a ball and no strikes to Wrigley, who on the season is batting .356, 36 hits through 101 at-bats so far. And that pitch misses high, and the count even now at 1-1. Rodriguez has been solid today for Jacksonville State, 4 2/3. 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts so far. The best outing she's had against the Redhawks all season. And it's already her second start of the day. She started Jacksonville State's second game of the tournament earlier today, the 2 o'clock first pitch against Austin Peay. Sent in the air toward left field once again. This one's in fair territory, and it'll be playable for Jada Terry as she makes the catch, and the SEMO Redhawks will be retired in order. Bottom of the fifth inning coming up. Gamecocks and Southeast Missouri all tied up 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the inning. Gamecocks coming to the plate in the bottom of the 5th inning as cheers of JSU rain out over the crowd.
Pitching for Jacksonville State, number 9,
Savannah Sudduth will step to the plate as a pinch hitter in place of Caroline Lively. Jacksonville State's usual starting shortstop, who is out with a rolled ankle in the last time that these two teams met in the regular season. Has made a few pinch hitting appearances, but has yet to play the field, and I would imagine we'll see much of the same today. Head coach Jen McGinnis, as Sudduth takes a first pitch ball, said that Sudduth wasn't moving very well laterally just yet, but can run out a pitch if she needs to, run out a hit rather, and can swing the bat well. Count even up 1-1 after that pitch misses high for a ball. Sudduth on the season hit .268 in 127 at-bats. Picked up 34 hits as a strike is called on the outside part of the plate, and the count is 2-1 now as the OVC Pitcher of the Year, Rachel Rook, jumps ahead. Lights beginning to take effect as the sun drops below the mountains. As strike 3 is called against Sudduth as she watches that one on the outside part of the plate about knee high. Too close to take that one, and she's down on strikes. We head back to the top of the order now with Keely Bobbitt due up and Shelby Newsom due up third in this inning. If you look out behind the first base dugout to the lake here at Choccolocco Park, the sun shimmering off of the water as this one's popped up on the infield. Ellis, the first baseman, calls off everyone on the infield and makes the catch. And quickly, there's 2 Jacksonville State outs. Now Shelby Newsom will stand in and try her hand, the freshman right fielder. Oxford, Alabama, much like Jacksonville, at the foot of the Appalachian Mountains, as south as that chain goes. The sun just below the mountains here in Oxford, and the lights above beginning to take effect, and the scoreboard lights even brighter than they have been all day. And then on top of the scoreboard in gold letters and white trim, an Oxford word mark that is shining bright now. As Shelby Newsom takes high for ball 2 and goes ahead in the count 2-0. Wind not blowing at all now. The flag out in center field just barely waving as the ball is sent toward third base. Bloop, it's going to be booted by the third baseman, Pauly, and she's able to stay with it, but will not make a throw, has to stick that one in her back pocket, and Shelby Newsom is on at first base.
Left fielder, number 7,
Wait and see what the ruling is on this one. I would imagine that it's going to be an E5. As a runner reaches first base with 2 outs, here comes Jada Terry, who is looking to do some damage. 2 hits in their first game against Austin Peay, but is hitless here against Southeast Missouri as she fouls that one back, and that one on top of the awning that covers the fans behind home plate, and lucky for her, that one just drifted on top of the roof as Carson Davis, the SEMO catcher, had a beat on it all the way with a hand on the backstop just in case it drifted back. The 0-1 on its way, and that one is taken high for a ball. Terry in this one 0 for 2 has fouled out to the catcher and flied out to right field. Put good wood on the ball in her last at bat, but was hit right toward the right fielder Anderson as she fouls that one back into the backstop. And the count is 1-2 against the senior left fielder. Runner at first base is Shelby Newsom, who is on an E5 as we suspected. Error charge to the third baseman. And now a high shot to left field. That one is fouled by about a mile, but she absolutely jumped all over that pitch and Shows off some of the power that she has. That one may have hit the fire engine in left field. Oxford Fire Department always sends out an engine with an extendable ladder and always puts a massive American flag on it, and it sits in foul territory in left field. And she's right on top of that one, but fouls it straight back. Folks at Choccolocca Park in Oxford always put on a fantastic tournament. OVC softball tournament has been hosted here since 2016. Here's the 1-2. Called strike 3 on the inner half of the plate, and that one definitely in there for strike 3, and that will do it for Jacksonville State in the 5th. They will strand a runner on as we head to the 6th inning, all tied up 1-1 in Oxford. We're headed to the 6th inning in Oxford. Jacksonville State 1 run, Southeast Missouri 1 run. The Redhawks coming to the plate to lead off the 6th. They will send the 3, 4, and 5 spots to the plate. Rachel Anderson due up first, the senior center fielder, followed by the freshman designated player, Katie Dreiling. And then Kaylee Anderson, the powerful right fielder, is due up third. She bats in the 5 spot for the Redhawks. All knotted at 1. Rodriguez goes back to work in the circle for Jacksonville State, and swinging at the first pitch is Rachel Anderson. Anderson today 1 for 1 with an RBI. The 0-1 is sent back into center field and over the head of the pitcher Rodriguez, and a base hit for Rachel Anderson, her second of the day, now 2 for 2. She singled in the first and then had a sacrifice fly out in the 3rd inning that plated a run, and now she puts herself aboard to lead off the 6th.
Number 17, Kelby Robinson.
Now we've got a pinch hitter for Southeast Missouri. Kelby Robinson will come on in place of the designated player Katie Dreiling, replacing the OVC all-freshman team member who was 0 for 2 thus far. She had struck out in the 1st and 3rd innings. And now Robinson, wearing number 17, on to pinch hit. So a runner at first base with no outs. And Robinson is hitting .800 this year. 4 hits in 5 at-bats. She has scored 9 runs, but has yet to knock one in. The pitch misses off the plate for a ball, and she is up there to bunt. Jacksonville State gets her to square around, and she shows her hand. And now it's up to Rodriguez to how she will attack her. A ball and no strikes. Looking to remove the runner at first base, Anderson, up to second. She squares around again. And another pitch low and outside for a ball. corner infielders will cheat in. Mosley more so than Fortner because Fortner has a runner at first base. Here is the 2-0. They both creep in now. Bunted, foul. Down the third base line, touched up by Caroline Lively, the Jacksonville State catcher, over in the grass. And the count moves to 2-1. First strike. Charge to Robinson. Robinson used mainly as a pinch hitter and a pinch runner. 10 stolen bases this year. 4 for 5 at the plate with 9 runs scored. Bunted, foul again. And now, Jacksonville State fans saying that she was out of the box when she made contact, but I didn't see that one. Count even up, 2 balls and 2 strikes, with Kaylee Anderson awaiting on deck. Here is the 2-2 pitch from Nicole Rodriguez, and that one bunted. Foul, says the home plate umpire. She's out. That goes down as a strikeout for Nicole Rodriguez. That is her 8th of the game, and a huge out for Jacksonville State.
The right fielder, number 14, Kaylee Anderson.
And I know it's only the first out of the inning, but that has to take the wind out of your sails when you've got a leadoff hitter aboard with a single, and you're trying to bunt her over, and you bunt 3 straight foul. So with 1 out, and Anderson still on at first base, here comes Kaylee Anderson, who hit a couple of home runs yesterday for Southeast Missouri against Jacksonville State. One was a grand slam, the other a 2-runner. She's 1 for 2 today. She has fouled out to the first base side and singled. Ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch, runner on the move, and it's fouled away. Hit and run was on, but Anderson fouls it straight back over the backstop. Count even up at a ball and a strike. We'll see if Rachel Anderson at first base is on the move again. Rodriguez spins it. And regardless if she was on the move or not, that one gets away from Caroline Lively. She had to jump up out of the crouch and try to glove that one. Has it go off the mitt, and it goes all the way back to the backstop. And moving from first to second easily is Rachel Anderson. So now the game's go-ahead run is standing at second base, and it's going to be scored a wild pitch against Nicole Rodriguez. And here's the 2-1, swing and miss for strike 2. And if she gets a strikeout here, this would be huge. That would mean 2 outs with a runner at second base, and all you'd have to do is get the fly out or the ground out to end the inning with no harm done. Here's the break-even pitch. In there for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Nicole Rodriguez. And there's 2 outs.
The first baseman, number 26, Ashley Ellis.
2 outs, a runner at second base in Rachel Anderson. And here comes Ashley Ellis, who Jacksonville State has been able to hold at bay all season long. But what a scary one to have up here. Ellis, 17 home runs on the year, Southeast Missouri's all-time home runs leader. And she blows one by her. She swings at it and misses. Rodriguez like the wild thing there. She wanted the fastball and got it. And Ellis swung right through it, going right at her here. As Sydney Wagnon tiptoes in to say something to Rodriguez. Outfielders playing as deep as they can, just on the heels of the warning track in left field and right field. Bobbitt now backing up to the warning track in center, not as deep as the other 2 fielders. And after the ball passes the plate, the count even at 1-1, Sally Beth Birch, the Jacksonville State pitching coach, will head out to the circle to talk with her battery of Caroline Lively and Nicole Rodriguez. At the same time, head coach Mark Redburn will talk with Ashley Ellis down the third base line. Rachel Anderson is camped out at second base. The Gamecocks trying to get out of the sixth inning without allowing a run. We're all tied up 1-1. Jacksonville State, a run in the bottom of the fourth inning. SEMO a run in the top of the third, and that's where we stand through 5 2/3 thus far. Here's the 1-1. They go inside with a drop ball, and Ellis swings over the top of it, and she's down 1-2 in the count. Two outs, runner at second base with a 1-2 count. Ellis with the big bat. Rodriguez trying to silence it. Here's the 1-2. Misses high. Ellis doesn't chase. That would look like just a straight fastball that she was going to try to keep high in the zone and does, but it's just out, and Ellis doesn't chase after it. Claps beginning. Rodriguez to the armband, now to the plate. The 2-2. Swing and miss for strike three. Lively will tag out Ellis on her way back to the dugout for safe measure. Back-to-back-to-back strikeouts for Nicole Rodriguez. 10 strikeouts on the night for the Jacksonville State right-hander. And we remain tied as we go to the bottom of the sixth inning in Oxford. Elimination game between the Gamecocks and the Redhawks. We're all knotted at 1. We go to the bottom of the sixth inning. Alexis Jimerson, the Jacksonville State designated player, set to lead it off, followed by Carson Mosley and Megan Fortner. And first pitch swinging, she fouls it straight back into the glove of the catcher Carson Davis, and the count is 0-1, facing Rachel Rook for the third time today. Rook has been outstanding for Southeast Missouri today in the circle. 5 innings of 2-hit softball with only 1 run allowed, and it was unearned as well, so it doesn't go against her ERA, which right now stands at 2.15. She's walked 2 batters, struck out 6, and the only extra base hit she's given up was a double, and that was off the bat of Alexis Jimerson her last time around. Jimerson later scored, and that's the only run Jacksonville State has plated tonight. Here's the 1-1. Jimerson swings and misses, and the count goes to 1-2. Jacksonville State 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. They've left 5 on base. SEMO, 1 run on 4 hits and 1 error. They've left 5 on as well. Here's the 1-2. Fouled straight back to the screen, and Jimerson stays alive. Sun continues to set. Lights are almost to full effect here at Oxford. You can still see out beyond the outfield everything so far, but beginning to get a little bit darker. The 1-2 misses off the plate outside for ball 2, and the count even up at 2-2. We are under the awning just to the left of the press box, sitting outside among everyone. And I had to go in and flip on the lights out here on the porch so we could see our score sheets. Here's the 2-2. Lifted in the air. That one shallow center field, ranging out to make the catch is the second baseman Wrigley. And that's the first out of the 6th inning. Daniel Porter has been my partner in crime today. Watched the 8-inning melee with me earlier today, and now in the bottom of the 6th inning here of this 1-1 tie ball game. As Mosley stands in and takes a violent hack and comes up empty. Mosley 0 for 1 today. She lined out to the right fielder back in the 4th inning. Put a good swing on it, but hit it right to Anderson, and then in the 1st inning was hit by a pitch as she takes there for a ball, and the count even up at 1-1. Mosley led off yesterday as Jana McGinnis was trying to figure out her lineup without Savannah Sunneth in it. Mosley led off yesterday against Southeast Missouri, but then today has been put into the 5 spot against Austin Peay in Southeast Missouri for this rematch of Game 1. Here's the 1-1, popped up. Third base side, foul territory, and it looks like she made the catch. The third baseman, Pauly, I lost sight of her as she went over to the third base side, but cheers from the SEMO faithful, and that out number 2 going up on the board tells me that she caught it. So a foul out to third base for Carson Mosley, 2 outs, and here comes Megan Fortner. Fortner 0 for 2 today, has popped up on the infield twice today. First on a failed bunt attempt in the 3rd, and then in the 4th, she popped up to the second baseman. That one was skied, and I actually lost visual of it as it went above the awning here behind home plate. Takes a first pitch ball, second pitch of the at-bat on its way, and that one misses high. That one up above the letters, and the count is 2-0. .20 pitch, misses inside for ball 3, and that nearly nicked her on the knee, but not far enough inside to put her on base, and she's ahead in the count 3-0, but one more pitch and she could be at first base. If so, it would be just the 3rd walk today issued by Rachel Rook, and it is. A runner at first base with 2 outs. And all of Rachel Rook's walks today have come with 2 outs. She walks Shelby Newsom with 2 outs in the 3rd, and then she walks Sydney Wagner with 2 outs in the 4th. Neither of them came around to score, though. As that pitch misses off the plate for a ball, and the count is 1-0 against Sydney Wagner, who, like we said, walked earlier. That was her last at bat in the 4th inning. She struck out in the 2nd. She was part of that double steal with Shani Phillips at the plate when Wagner took second, and Alexis Jimerson took advantage and scored on the play. So that one's fouled straight back, and the count's even now at 1-1. So Shani Phillips at the plate during that double steal, credited with an RBI. Wagner moved up to second base on the stolen base, and Alexis Jimerson scurried home from 3rd. And so far, and that's the only run for Jacksonville State tonight. Here's the 1-1. Fouled off toward the third base side, out of play. And the count moves to 1-2. Right-hander looks in and will come to the plate. Wagner, a ground ball towards second base. Bobbled, but she's thrown out at first. And Julie Boland emphatically says she was safe, safe, safe. But it'll go down as a 4-3 put out and the third out of the inning. Wagner nearly legged that one out. Bang, bang play. That'll do it for Jacksonville State in the 6th inning. We head to the top of the 7th, all tied up 1-1. Jacksonville State and Southeast Missouri in this elimination game. Winner fighting to go to the championship round against Eastern Kentucky.
Pitch hitting for Southeast Missouri, number 3, Kimmy Wallen.
We head to the top of the 7th inning. Kimmy Wallen is going to come on as a pinch hitter in place of the freshman catcher Carson Davis. Wallen this season, a .333 average, hits from the left side and takes the first pitch from Rodriguez high for a ball. Batting in place of Davis, who was 0 for 2 today. Davis had struck out and popped up to the shortstop. So Wallen will try her hand with a 1-0. A strike dealt on the outside from Rodriguez, and the count even up now, 1 ball and 1 strike. Wallen this season, 14 hits in 42 at-bats. 3 extra base hits, all of them doubles as she swings through that one. Caroline Lively happy with the strike as she jumps out from behind home plate. And the count is 1-2. And that's something that Jacksonville State head coach Jana McGinnis loves about this freshman catcher, is she brings a ton of energy to the field. And you'll see her do that a lot after a strike call. That one misses just off the plate outside for a ball, and the count even now at 2-2. Wallen this year, 5 strikeouts through 4 walks with 5 strikeouts, with 2 runs batted in. She scored 11 runs on her own. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and fouled straight back to Caroline Lively, and had Lively been able to get a piece of that one and hung on to it, that would have been a strikeout, but instead it goes off of her face mask and back to the backstop. One-to-one ball game in the top of the 7th inning. SEMO with a run in the 3rd, and Jacksonville State with a run in the bottom of the 4th inning. Swing and miss for strike 3. Strikeout number 11 on the day for Nicole Rodriguez. She has struck out the last 4 in a row she's faced. And now we're going to have a pinch hitter in place of Austin Polly. Rickerman is going to come to the plate in place of Polly, and Polly today was 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored and a strikeout. Rickerman wears number 16 and will stand in. Rickerman fouls off the first offering, fouls it straight back into the screen, and goes behind in the count 0-1. No balls and a strike. Rodriguez to the plate against the left-hander. And this one's popped up, foul territory, third base side. Mosley over there trying to make a play on it. And that one goes into the Southeast Missouri dugout, out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Make it 5 straight strikeouts for Nicole Rodriguez. 12 Ks on the night for her.
The left fielder, number 1, Jillian Anderson.
So Jillian Anderson will stand in and bat for herself here, batting from the left side. The freshman All OVC team member takes the first pitch for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Rodriguez winds and deals, and a ball sent toward left field, caught by Jada Terry. Make it 6 straight retired by Nicole Rodriguez. 5 of the last 6 she's faced retired on strikes. 3 up, 3 down go the Red Hawks in the 7th. We head to the bottom of the inning. Jacksonville State, the home team, could walk it off here. We'll see if they do. All tied up 1-1 in this elimination game. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning, and you can expect some pinch hitters coming to the plate for Jacksonville State here. And the first one is going to be Lauren Hunt. Lauren Hunt is going to pinch hit in place of Cheney Phillips in the 8th spot. Hunt wears the number 2 jersey.
Southeast Missouri, number 21, Chelsea Pena.
And Chelsea Pena is going to come in as a defensive sub for Southeast Missouri and catch. We saw Pena a lot during the regular season finale series. And now she is the backstop for Southeast Missouri as Rachel Rook stays in the game to spin her 6th inning. Lauren Hunt takes a first pitch strike, and the count is 0-1 to the left-handed hitting pinch hitter. Hunt hit .233 on the season, logged 60 at-bats, and had 14 hits. Saw a lot of time in the outfield this year. Here's the 0-1. Lifted in the air, foul, and out of play it goes. Quick note to tell you about Nicole Rodriguez. Her 12 strikeouts in this game is her new single game high. She previously 11 was the record. She now has 12, and that is a new career high for her. The 0-2 to Hunt. Called strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. Jeez. Hunt is retired on strikes, goes down looking there on a pitch that was borderline on the outside part of the plate. And now Alex Howard will stand in for Jacksonville State. And Howard, like we mentioned in the first broadcast, has a couple of walk-off hits this year. The freshman, playing in her hometown of Oxford, Alabama, played her high school ball just down the road at Oxford High School, stands in with a chance to end it all here. She's done it with a home run, and she's done it with a double this year. And Howard stands in with the bases empty. Jacksonville State and Southeast Missouri tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning with 1 out. First pitch on its way, misses low for a ball. What a highlight that would be if she can do something here. Here's the 1-0 to the freshman. Down the heart of the plate for a strike, and the count even at 1-1 to the right-hander. She wears number 13, but maybe that's a lucky number tonight. Count even at 1-1 with 1 out. The Jacksonville State dugout is hype. Here's the break even. Lift in the air, foul down the right field line and out of play. That one over top of the Jacksonville State bullpen where they have an arm warming up down there, and it's the left-hander, Reagan Watkins. So Watkins could be called on if this game goes long and Rodriguez tires. Ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Rook. Lifted in the air, deep to right field. This one is caught. Oh, my. Howard was around first base. She thought she had it, too. As soon as it's caught by the right fielder, Anderson, she throws her hands on her head and has to return to the dugout. Boy, she gave that one a ride. Man, and the way the ball's been flying out of here all day, that one seemed to die. There's no wind at all. And boy, she hammered that one to right field.
Pitching for Jacksonville State, number 17, Lindsey Richardson.
So a long, loud out for Alex Howard to right field is the second out of the inning. And Jacksonville State is going to send another pinch hitter to the plate, this time in place of the center fielder, Keely Bobbitt. And all 3 of these players have only been pinch hit for once now, so all 3 can re-enter. Phillips could re-enter for Hunt, Lively for Howard, and Bobbitt in place of Richardson, who will step to the plate for Jacksonville State. Richardson wears number 17. Lindsey Richardson, the freshman from Moody, Alabama, in a huge moment here for Jacksonville State. First pitch misses high for a ball, and the count is 1-0 for Richardson. Richardson this season, 6 hits through 27 trips to the plate, 1 run batted in. She's got 1 extra base hit. It was a double, and she's batting an even .222. 1-0 to the right-hander, and a big cut and miss, and the count even at 1-1. Richardson stands in at 5'7", a right-hander. A first baseman for Jacksonville State. Played her high school ball at Moody High School. Count even at 1-1. Jacksonville State hoping to advance to Saturday. Here's the 1-1. Off the plate for a ball. 2-1 the count now to Richardson. I still can't get over the fly ball to right field. Howard thought she had it. I thought she had it. A lot of people did, and it just died out there in right field. Here's the 2-1. Fouled straight back, and the count even up now at 2-2. That one jammed her. It was in on the hands, and she just got a piece of it to foul it off. And And now timeout requested by Robinson at the plate, and she'll get it. And she'll now stand back in to face Rook. The 2-2 on its way. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Jacksonville State goes 3 up, 3 down in the 7th. And for the second time today, we're headed to extra innings. The Gamecocks and the Redhawks all tied up 1-1 as we head to the top of the 8th inning here in Oxford, Alabama at Choccolocco Park. Extra innings in Oxford, Alabama. Jacksonville State and Southeast Missouri all tied up 1-1 as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Simo will send the top of the order to the plate.
Now catching number 14, Lizzie Van Manen.
Allison Tucker, Kinsey Wrigley, and Rachel Anderson, the 1, 2, and 3 spots due up for Southeast Missouri. A defensive change to let you know about. Lizzie Van Manen now behind the plate for Jacksonville State in place of Caroline Lively. Van Manen with a good bat is in there for her offense. And Rodriguez, first pitch, swung on. Tucker out to shallow left field. It'll be caught by the shortstop, Cheney Phillips. And there's one away. A pop-up to the shortstop. One pitch and one out. Nicole Rodriguez goes back to work in the circle for Jacksonville State. After that out, a 7 1/3 innings pitched tonight for the senior from Florida. 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 12 strikeouts. Her single-game career high for Ks in a game. As she moves into the 8th inning. First pitch to Kinsey Wrigley is bounced in the dirt for a ball, and the count is 1-0 to the SEMO second baseman. The freshman today is 0 for 2. Has flied out twice and walked once. Here's the 1-0. And just off the plate outside for a ball, the count 2-0 as Rodriguez tries to stay outside on her. She flied out to center field in the first inning, gave it a good ride, but Bobbitt was there to make the catch. Walked in the third and was stranded at first, and then in the 5th inning, flied out to left to end the frame as a strike is dealt on the outside part of the plate, and the count is 2-1. Wrigley batting .353 on the season, hitless here today. 36 hits on the year. Has 2 home runs and 8 doubles. Ground ball sent toward shortstop. Phillips up with it. Strong throw on to first is on target. And the 6-3 put out in the scorebook for Kinsey Wrigley is the second out of the inning. So 2 down. No Redhawks on base, and here comes Rachel Anderson, the 3-spot hitter, who is tearing the cover off the ball today. 2 for 2. Single in the first, and a single in the 5th, and then the 3rd inning had a sacrifice fly out to center field that scored the run. The only run so far today for Southeast Missouri is these two teams are tied 1-1 here in extra innings in the top of the 8th. Rodriguez, the senior from Fort Myers, Florida, is dealing tonight. Started the game with a 2.33 ERA and has lowered it to 2.24 tonight after allowing just the one run as that strike drops in there and the count's even at 1-1. A pitcher's duel tonight between her and the OVC Pitcher of the Year, Rachel Rook. It'll be which one makes the mistake first. Here's the 1-1. Popped up, foul territory, third base side, but out of play it goes. This is an elimination game. Jacksonville State, with their win earlier today, 8-4 in extra innings over Austin Peay, sent the Governors home. And now here in the second elimination game, game 5 of the tournament, Jacksonville State looks to do the same to Southeast Missouri. The 1-2, fouled away again. This would be huge as Jacksonville State is obviously, they're the 4 seed. There's only 4 teams in the tournament. They knocked off the 3 seed earlier today, and now if they can knock off SEMO, that would be the number 1 seed gone. If Jacksonville State wins, it would be JSU and EKU tomorrow for the OVC championship. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball towards second base. Diving stop made by Wagner. She's going to have to stick in her back pocket, though. Infield single for Rachel Anderson. Wagner did a great job of making the stop. She was having to run towards second base, made the diving stop with her glove, but couldn't come up with it cleanly, and even if she had, it would have been a tough task of it to ask of her to try to throw out Rachel Anderson at first, as Anderson, the senior center fielder, has really good speed and was going to probably beat it out regardless. So a runner at first base and 2 outs, and here comes what was supposed to be Katie Dreiling's spot in the lineup. And Southeast Missouri will stick with Robinson, who pinch hit for her earlier and picked up a single. Or correction, actually struck out back in the 6th inning. So all 3 at-bats for the SEMO 4 spot have struck out today. Katie Dreiling struck out in the 1st and 3rd innings. And then Robinson struck out in the 6th inning as Rachel Anderson will take second base without a throw. And the count is even up at 1-1. So Robinson now with a runner in scoring position at second with a 1-1 count and 2 outs. Winding deal from Rodriguez off the plate for a ball. Loser of this game goes home. The winner of this game will go on to take on Eastern Kentucky tomorrow. First pitch of that game is set for noon, as there's timeout called and Sally Beth Birch goes out to the mound to talk with Rodriguez. Eastern Kentucky topped Southeast Missouri 2-1 earlier today to advance to the championship round, and that's what sent Southeast Missouri to the losers bracket, giving this game here with Jacksonville State. EKU tomorrow needs to win just 1 game to be crowned 2021 OVC tournament champions and receive the automatic bid to the NCAA playoffs. If the team from the losers bracket hopes to win the tournament, they would have to beat EKU twice. As Rodriguez will toe the rubber and go back to work here with the 2-1 count and 2 outs. Robinson batting from the left side, pitch on the way, line drive. That one's going to be into center field. Runner around third, headed for home. The throw, Van Manen's tag. The throw was there in time, but she dropped the ball. A fantastic throw from center field from Bobbitt. It was just a tad short, and Van Manen looked like she had a glove on it and was going to try to make the tag a little too soon. It pops out of the glove, and she makes the tag without the ball in it. So the stolen base for Anderson pays off. She scores from second base, and that's an RBI single for Robinson. And that puts Southeast Missouri up 2-1 in the top of the 8th inning. An RBI single for the 4-spot hitter. And now here comes Kaylee Anderson with a runner at second base and 2 outs as Robinson advanced to second on the throw from center field. And I thought for a second that they had Anderson dead to rights, but the throw came up short. And Van Manen couldn't glove it and make the tag. And Jacksonville State trails 2-1 in extra innings. As the pitch misses off the plate inside, and the count's even up 1-1 now to Kaylee Anderson, who hit a couple of home runs yesterday against Jacksonville State. Won a grand slam in the first inning that gave SEMO their big 8-run first, and then she hit a 2-run home run later in the game. Count even at 1-1. Pitch bounced in the dirt, blocked up by Van Manen. Robinson has to hang up at second base. Can't go anywhere on that one. It didn't bounce far enough away from the Jacksonville State backstop. That's the first run that Nicole Rodriguez has given up since the 3rd inning. Swing and miss there, and it gets away from Van Manen. And a foul ball called by the home plate umpire, and so Robinson will have to return to second base. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Rodriguez looking to get out of the inning here with 1 more pitch. The deal to Anderson. Lifted in the air to left field. That's going to be over the fence. Holy cow. That ball kept sailing. It looked like Jada Terry might have a play on it, and she had to turn and watch it go. Robinson scores from second on the play, and a 2-run home run for Kaylee Anderson, her 3rd of the weekend against Jacksonville State. That is her 2nd 2-run home run of the weekend. And on home runs alone, 3 home runs against Jacksonville State, 8 RBIs on those 3 swings of the bat. It's now a 4-1 advantage, Southeast Missouri. Base is clear. And now Ashley Ellis is coming to the plate. Ellis held hitless today, a couple of strikeouts and a fly out to center field thus far. And they throw it down the heart of the plate to her. She takes all the way, and it's a strike. Swung on and missed there for strike 2. The 0-2 from Rodriguez. Misses high for a ball. Southeast Missouri leading 4-1 here in the top of the 8th inning. Jacksonville State will have to score at least 3 runs to stay alive. SEMO, the number 1 seed, looking to move on to the championship round tomorrow. Jacksonville State trying to keep from going back to Jacksonville with a loss tonight. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs against Ellis. Here's the break even. Swing and miss for strike 3. The 13th strikeout of the night for Nicole Rodriguez. But it's a bittersweet strikeout as Jacksonville State sees 6 SEMO batters come to the plate, and SEMO plates 3. The Redhawks lead at 4-1 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Jacksonville State needs 3. Gamecocks down to their last chance, trailing 4-1.
right fielder, number 3, Shelby.
Last chance for the Gamecocks. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Jacksonville State trailing 4-1 to Southeast Missouri in extra innings here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Jacksonville State will send Shelby Newsom, Jada Terry, and Alexis Jemerson to the plate. If there's any part of the order that has a good chance of putting up a 3 spot here in the inning, these are the girls to do it. Shelby Newsom today has reached base all 3 times she's been at the plate. She singled in the first, walked in the third, and reached on an E5 back in the 5th inning. So she looks to keep that trend alive here as she steps to the plate in the bottom of the 8th inning. Rachel Rook back to work for Southeast Missouri. She has pitched an absolute gem for the Red Hawks. Rook tonight, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was unearned with 3 walks and 8 strikeouts. The only extra base hit she's given up was a double to Alexis Jemerson. The 1-0 on its way. Missed high for a ball. Ahead in the count 2-0 now is Shelby Newsom as she checked her swing on the first one that was high, and she watched the second one go by for a ball as well. Winner of this game will move on to take on EKU tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Winner will go home. Rather, loser will go home. Correction. Strike called, and the count is 2-1. Winner will take on EKU tomorrow at 12 o'clock in the championship round. Loser will head home tonight and be eliminated. The 2-1 on its way from Rook to Newsom. Missed inside for a ball. 3 balls and a strike to count. Jacksonville State dugout still up, hoping for 3 runs here. 3-1 to Newsom. Off the plate for ball 4, and Newsom is aboard. Good way to start the inning. The Jacksonville State leadoff hitter is at first base with no outs, and here comes Jada Terry. Jada Terry needs a big moment here. 0 for 3 tonight. A foul out, a fly out, and a strikeout for the senior. Be huge here for Terry if she could get a base hit and keep this inning rolling. Terry takes high for ball 1. Rook winds and deals. Lifted in the air. Center field. Over the fence. Home run. Home run number 11 on the season for Jada Terry. Leads the team in round trippers and adds to it here. A 2-run home run as she stomps on home plate. Jacksonville State trails by just 1 now, 4-3. That's only the second extra base hit given up tonight by Rook. And that was a laser shot. I had to wait for a second because I thought it might hit the fence. I mean, when it went over the white tape of the center field fence, it was as low as it could go. Anderson, if she had leapt, might have been able to make the catch. And now Alexis Jemerson to the plate for Jacksonville State. And Jemerson with a home run already today, a grand slam in the top of the 8th inning against Austin Peay, and then yesterday against Rachel Rook, hit a solo home run to right center field. Jada Terry, a 2-run home run to pull Jacksonville State within 1, and that pitch from Rook misses for a ball, and the count is 2-0. So the Gamecocks make it interesting here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Extra innings in Oxford. The 2-0 from Rook. And that one misses for ball 3. Just off the plate. SEMO fans not happy with the call, as now Rook seems to be getting squeezed. 3 balls and no strikes. We'll see if Jemerson has a green light here. Wind and deal. Taking all the way for a strike. Good job there by Jemerson not to jump on anything bad, and the count is 3-1. Rook to the plate, 3-1. A big hack and a miss there from Jemerson. The count runs full, 3-2. We'll see if Rook pitches to her here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bases empty with no outs. Jacksonville State trailing by 1. And Jemerson could tie it up with 1 swing of the bat. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. That one was about letter high. It was going to be called a strike regardless. And she swings and comes up empty. And there's 1 out.
The third baseman, number 12, Carson Mosley.
Now here comes Carson Mosley. Mosley has reached base once today. She was hit by a pitch in the second, but since then has lined out and fouled out. First pitch from Rook to her. She swings at and fouls it straight back. That went over into the parking lot behind us. And the count is 0-1. No balls and a strike with 1 out. Carson Mosley, the right-hander, facing the right-handed pitching Rook. The 0-1 on its way. Swing and miss there on a pitch low and outside for strike 2. That was a breaking ball that was sliding away from Carson Mosley, and it's just right out of her reach. No balls and 2 strikes. Line drive into center field, a base hit, and that one almost clipped Rook as she had to dodge it. And now Carson Mosley thought about second base, but Shannon McGinnis yelling, get back, as the relay throw missed the cutoff man and went into the pitcher circle where Rook was standing. And Mosley, for a hot second, thought about trying to take second base, but wisely returns to first. And so a 1-out single, and that might be the end of the night for Rook. Mark Redburn, the head coach of the Red Hawks, is headed out to the circle. Carson Mosley is going to trot over to the third base side with Julie Boland, Sally Beth Birch, and Jana McGinnis, joined by Megan Fortner, the on-deck hitter. And now coming out from the dugout is Sydney Wagner, who I guess would be now on deck, with Fortner due up at the plate. The Jacksonville State dugout on their feet and cheering as the Gamecocks have a runner at first base with 1 out, trailing by 1 run, 4-3 to Southeast Missouri in the bottom of the 8th inning. The home plate umpire, Kevin Wallace, out to break up the meeting in the circle. No pitching change coming for Southeast Missouri. Redburn is going to leave it in Rook's hands. The OVC Pitcher of the Year, who has given up just 4 hits tonight, is going to face at least 1 more batter, and it's going to be Megan Fortner with 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, Jacksonville State knocking on the door. They trail 4-3, need 1 run to stay alive in this matchup. And the first pitch misses high and away to Fortner. If Fortner gets on base, I think that'll be the last batter that Rook faces. 1-0 the count to the Jacksonville State first baseman. Second pitch of the at-bat on the way. Called strike on the outside part of the plate. Count even at 1-1. Carson Mosley has some speed over there at first base. 10 stolen bases this year. Here's the 1-1. Popped up on the infield. It's going to be caught by the second baseman Wrigley, and now Jacksonville State is down to its last out of the season. Second time tonight that Carson Mosley has popped up to second base, and now it's up to Sydney Wagner. And Wagner has been on a hot streak. Wagner tonight hitless though. Struck out in the second, walked and stole a base in the 4th inning, and then in the 6th grounded out to second base. And so Wagner looking to keep Jacksonville State's championship hopes alive here with a runner at first base. The Gamecocks down by 1. And Wagner takes high for ball 1. She's got Carson Mosley on at first base, who, if you get a ball into the corner or if you roll it all the way to the fence, Mosley more than likely can score if she gets a good jump on it. Here's the 1-0. Off the plate for ball 2. A good frame job there by the catcher, Pena. But Chelsea wasn't going to frame that one as it was too far outside. She tried to pull it over the black, but not fooling home plate umpire Kevin Wallace there. 2-0 the count. As Rook toes the rubber, looks to the armband, and will now come to the plate. Here's the pitch. Misses high, and now timeout is called by Chelsea Pena, the SEMO catcher. She's going to call in the entire Red Hawk infield, and they're going to have a chat with Rachel Rook. Sydney Wagner stands outside the left-handed batter's box and takes a couple of practice swings. And she will stand back in the batter's box before Pena even makes it back to the plate. Wagner's ready to go with a 3-0 count. Runner at first base, Carson Mosley. She represents the game's tying run. Wagner represents the winning run. Rook to the plate here. That one down the heart of the plate, a hard fastball for a strike. Mosley not on the move. 2 outs. Jacksonville State trailing 4-3. 3-1 count to Wagner. Pitch on its way from Rook. Misses high for ball 4. Jacksonville State's inning extended with the walk. Carson Mosley moves up to second base. And Jacksonville State will pinch hit Reagan Watkins. Jana McGinnis is throwing everything she's got at it here. That'll be the second time that Cheney Phillips, the shortstop, has been pinch hit for. And so that will do it for her. If Jacksonville State forces a 9th inning, JSU will need another shortstop. And now we're going to have a pitching change. After Wagner has walked, that'll be the night for Rook. And what a fantastic night she's had. 7 2/3 innings of 4-hit softball, 3 runs, only 2 of them earned with 5 walks and 9 strikeouts. But the 2 runners left on still belong to her, as they'll go with Patience Holman in the circle now. Holman this season, a 3.03 ERA, 7-7 record in 92 1/3 innings pitched. 86 hits, 48 runs, 40 of them earned, with 52 strikeouts and 27 walks. Holman is who pitched earlier today for Southeast Missouri in that 2-1 loss to Eastern Kentucky. She was able to hold EKU to just 2 runs, 2 runs all day. Picked up the loss. Pitched 7 innings against the Colonels, giving up 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned with no walks and 2 strikeouts. So she displayed some really good control earlier today against EKU, and now she's being called on to save this game. If she does pick up the save, it would be her first of the season. Rachel Rook has 4 saves. Marissa Davis has 3. To total Southeast Missouri 7 saves on the year. And she's going to face Reagan Watkins, a right-handed hitter for Jacksonville State, a left-handed pitcher who swings it well at the plate. Reagan Watkins, a .355 hitter this year, 11 hits in 31 trips to the plate, 3 extra base hits, all 3 of them doubles. All Jacksonville State needs is a single to the outfield, though, as Carson Mosley is going to be on the move, on contact. She could score easily from second base and tie this game up. They've got Mosley at second, Sydney Wagner at first, and Reagan Watkins coming to the plate with 2 outs in a 4-3 ball game. SEMO on top here in extra innings. First pitch swinging, fouls it away. This has been a nail-biter since the start. SEMO put up a run in the third inning. Jacksonville State answered with a run in the bottom of the fourth. And then it was zeros through the fifth, sixth, and seventh innings until we got to the top of the eighth inning. Southeast Missouri put up a 3-spot to go up 4-1. Jada Terry hit a 2-run home run to make it 4-3 here in the bottom of the eighth. As a pitch off speed misses outside, and the count even up 1-1. Now to Watkins. Reagan Watkins, 5'7", bats from the right side, a senior from Foley, Alabama. Played her high school ball at Daphne and is a transfer from Southern Miss. The 1-1 on its way, fouled away. And Patience Holman, a different look than Rachel Rook in the pace of play, really takes her time in the circle. When she comes set, she slowly lowers her hand in her mitt down to her belt and then comes to the plate in her windup. A ball and 2 strikes. Jacksonville State down to its last strike of the season unless they can do something here. Runners at first and second, 2 down, trailing 4-3. Here's the pitch. Off the plate for a ball, count even up at 2-2. Watkins hitting an even 300 with runners on, 250 with runners in scoring position, and 250 with 2 outs on the board. Overall, batting .355 this year. Looking to make this her 12th hit. Here's the 2-2 from Holman. Swing and miss for strike 3, and that's the season for Jacksonville State. They fall 4-3 in extra innings to Southeast Missouri, the #1 seed in this OVC tournament, and the regular season champions. Jacksonville State is eliminated, and Southeast Missouri is headed on to the championship round. They will take on Eastern Kentucky, the team that beat them 2-1 earlier today. And SEMO is going to have to try to beat Eastern Kentucky twice in a row if they hope to win their 7th OVC tournament title. The win today goes to Rachel Rook, the OVC Pitcher of the Year. She picks up her 20th win after throwing a fantastic game against Jacksonville State. On the night, Rook went 7 2/3, gave up 4 hits, only 3 runs, 2 of them earned, with 5 walks and 9 strikeouts. She only really made 2 mistakes, and one of them was a double to Alexis Jimerson that the DP later scored on, and then she gave up a 2-run home run to Jada Terry in the bottom of the 8th inning that pulled Jacksonville State within 1. But in the end, Patience Holman comes on and picks up the final out of the game, earns the save, and sends Jacksonville State home. For Jacksonville State, the loss goes to Nicole Rodriguez, who was great tonight for Jacksonville State. She threw all 8 innings for Jacksonville State, but the decision gives her an 8-9 record on the year. She gave up just 7 hits to Southeast Missouri, allowing 4 runs, 4 earned with 2 walks, and struck out a career-high 13 in her final appearance as a Jacksonville State Gamecock. And so that sets up the championship tomorrow for the OVC title. EKU versus Southeast Missouri, the #1 seed versus the #2 seed. Southeast Missouri taking on the future ASUN member, EKU. And that'll do it for us here at Choccolocco Park in Oxford on this Friday night, where your final score is Southeast Missouri 4 and Jacksonville State 3. For everyone here at Jacksonville State, I'm Tyler Brown saying so long from Oxford. We'll see you next season.